What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of MLB action on Wednesday, September 3rd. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the best chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, ended up being another pretty solid day. Got off to a good start there with the Mets at minus 135. A comfortable 12-5 win there for New York. McLean was very good over his 6 innings, and when you're putting up 17 hits and 12 runs, things are going to look pretty easy. Also, the Detroit pitching situation looked like a complete disaster, so nice to cash that one. We unfortunately dropped that over on the Athletics-Cardinals game. A very annoying situation. See both starters throw the ball so well in this one, even though the Athletics bullpen was not a total disaster. The Cardinals win 2-1 behind a great start from Michaelis, not something that they've gotten to say very many times this season. We had the Yankees. That was a nice win at minus 115, a 7-1 win behind a great start there from Max Fried, where he gave only a single run over his 7 innings. Valdez continues to be really uneven out there on the mound, and that Astros offense not impressing me here recently. So nice to get that win on the Yankees. We unfortunately bricked our under there on that Giants-Colorado Rockies game. Freeland looking bad, and then coming out of the game after 1 inning and a massive fight was not really what we were looking for in that one. Webb was also not great in this game. Despite all that, we were looking at cashing that under until in the 8th inning. So yeah, annoying to lose that one, but a loss is a loss. We did cash both of our dog of the day and our massive lock of the day, though. That was nice. We had the White Sox, a nice plus 125 dog. It was a 12-3 win for them in this one. A solid outing there from Davis Martin. Woods Richardson actually wasn't as bad as I would have thought he would be, but that Twins bullpen was a disaster, while the White Sox really held things together down in the bullpen, and obviously a great day there from their offense. We cash a nice underdog. We love to do that. We also had Boston at minus 250 as our massive lock of the day. That was quite the roller coaster. We'll take the win. Their bats managed to slug them to a win despite giving up 6 runs there in the 6th inning. Crochet tried to ruin things by having a terrible start kind of out of nowhere, but we still come away with the win thanks to the offense and that lights out bullpen work. So a pretty solid 4-2 day. Not going to complain about that at all, especially with the nice underdog mixed in there. So let's go ahead and dive in. We've got another loaded slate here on a very busy Wednesday of MLB action. First up, we're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Marlins come into this game sitting at 65-74 on the season. They've lost 2 in a row, so not exactly having a great time and pretty much out of any sort of playoff contention. They'll hand the ball in this game to Yuri Perez. This young dude has been great at some points this year, but bad at some other points. He's 6-4, a 4.04 ERA. His last start, he was terrible against the Mets, absolutely horrible. Coming off a decent start there against Toronto, but he's had some rough outings here down the stretch. So we'll see what he looks like against the Nationals, a team that he faced back in mid-June and was fine, but not dominant. So we'll see what he can do. Obviously not nuts about how he's throwing the ball at the moment. The Marlins bullpen's been a big problem for them, a 4.30 bullpen ERA, not exactly filling me with optimism there. And the offense, 2-0-5, 11, 9, and 7 over their last 2. So far in this series, some very cold bats from these Marlins. So we'll see if they can get back on track over the course of the year. They've been an okay, not elite, but okay offense. So we'll see what they do against the Nationals. They've won their last 2 in a row, but at 55-83 are even further from contending for a playoff spot. They'll hand the ball in this game to Mitchell Parker. He's 7-15 on the year, a 5.94 ERA. His last start, 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, walked 0 and struck out 7. Very good control in that game, but did give up a couple of home runs, and we do see the Nationals lose that game 4-1 eventually. So we'll see what he does here against the Marlins. Obviously, you see a left-hander having great control. All of a sudden, that's a great sign. But the last time he faced the Marlins, he got obliterated by them back in mid-June. So we'll see how things go in this one. Obviously, the Nationals bullpen has not been great. A 5.39 bullpen ERA is the worst in the majors and has been the worst basically all year long. The offense, 5-2, 4-1, 1-2 over their last few. Despite hitting the ball a little bit better there yesterday, this offense is not looking great. They're down to 25th in the majors run scored. They are 27th in slugging percentage. Like, you're going to have to search pretty hard for me to find something positive to say about the way the Nationals are hitting the ball right now. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Marlins are minus 135. The Nationals are plus 115. We've got a total of 9 in this game. The Marlins are 34-36 on the road, 35-33-2 to the over on the road. The Nationals are 27-42 at home, 34-31-4 to the over at home. I'm not too interested in the total in this game. I would maybe lean just slightly towards over, but I will take the Marlins on the road to avoid losing 3 straight here, but this is not a spot that I like enough to put anywhere near the pinned comment, not with the way Yuri Perez has been throwing the ball. Next on the docket, we're looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Mets have to be stoked with what they're seeing from McLean so far. Obviously, coming off back-to-back wins in this series has to feel great. They'll hand the ball in Game 3 to Clay Holmes. He's 11-6 on the season, a 3.60 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, only 2 which were earned there against the Marlins. In a game we did see the Mets eventually lose 7-4. He didn't have his best stuff in that one. We'll see if he can bounce back here against a Tigers team that's not swinging the hottest bats right now, but is definitely capable of being dangerous at the plate. The bullpen for the Mets obviously has had some bumps in the road here down the stretch, but capable of being good. Still, though, a 3.97 bullpen ERA right now isn't making me super happy. The offense, 12, 10, 1, 8, and 19 over their last few. All of a sudden, they're figuring out. Juan Soto all the way up to 37 home runs now. Pete Alonso, 112 RBIs and batting nearly 270. They're 9th in the majors in runs scored. They're 6th in slugging percentage. This team is looking very scary at the plate. So we'll see what they do against these Tigers, who not having a great time, but it doesn't really matter because they're in the AL Central and have a 9-game lead. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Casey Mize. He's 12-5 on the year, a 3.95 ERA, but coming off, I would say, at least 3 pretty mediocre starts. Starting against the Athletics, Royals, and Twins is not a great look. He gets plenty of run support, and he's been facing a lot of bad teams. That's helped him a lot. We'll see what he can do here against an actual, seemingly now good team in the New York Mets. I'm not expecting miracles here from Casey Mize. I'm not expecting miracles from that Tigers bullpen. It's been pretty bad down the stretch. A 4.02 ERA is not what you want to see your team doing here, in the most important time of the season. The offense, 5-8, 5, 1, 5, and 0 over their last few games. Honestly, the Tigers offense hasn't looked great, and I would say like 20-ish games, or maybe even more at this point. It's a bit of a slump, and it's a bit of a prolonged slump. So if this is only going to be a team that's like maybe 10th in the majors offensively, I think they have a little bit of a rough time out, doing whatever bad stuff that bullpen's going to do. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Mets are minus 115. The Tigers are minus 105. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Mets are 29-37 on the road, 32, 29, and 5 to the under on the road. The Tigers are 44-26 at home, 35, 30, and 5 to the over at home. No major lean on the total in this game, but I'm going to lean towards the Mets. They're swinging some of the hottest bats in the majors right now, putting up double-digit runs in each of their first 2 games. I'm not that high on Clay Holmes, so there's a possibility this could miss the pinned comment, but I do think the Mets are pretty solid value. I know they're going for their 3rd straight win, but the way they're swinging the bats right now, I don't think Casey Mize is the one that's going to slow them down. Cruising along here, guys, we're looking at the Texas Rangers heading to Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. The Rangers and the Diamondbacks actually just finished up their current game, I believe. Yeah, with the Diamondbacks coming away with the 5-3 win. The Rangers had been on a nice little 6-game winning streak before that and have put themselves right there in the mix in the wildcard hunt out there in the American League. They're currently only a game and a half back of the Mariners. So very, very close stuff down the stretch there. Obviously, a decent season here from Jack Leiter has been pretty helpful. This young 25-year-old starter been out there on the big league mound all year and is 9-7 with a 3.77 ERA, coming off an excellent start there against the Athletics, a dominant start against the Guardians. We've loved what this guy's looked like over at least his last 5 starts. He had a start against the Diamondbacks back on August 12th, and he was very good. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run allowed. That was a 3-2 loss. Didn't get any run support there, but he threw the ball great. We also aren't worried about that Rangers bullpen. A 3.64 bullpen ERA is definitely not anything to be concerned about. And the offense, obviously not having a great night there their last time out, but had been hitting the ball really, really well. 7, 9, 9, 5, 20, 7, and 0 over their last few. They're up to 17th in runs scored, despite being 26th in on-base percentage and 24th in batting average. So a lot of things to be happy about if you are a Texas Rangers fan. They're taking on the Diamondbacks here, who at 68-71, I guess they're not mathematically eliminated or anything like that, but they're 6.5 games back in the National League wildcard hunt. So I don't think they're going to be making too much noise there. They'll hand the ball in this game to Zach Gallen. He's 10-13 on the year, a 4.94 ERA. But over his last 2 starts, he's thrown the ball really, really well. Very good stuff against the Dodgers and the Reds. He faced the Rangers back on August 13th. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs allowed in a 6-4 win there for the Diamondbacks. So we'll see if he can get some run support once again like he did at that time. We'll see if the Arizona bullpen can hold together. They've been getting a little bit better here down the stretch, weirdly enough. A 4.68 bullpen ERA, though, not amazing. The offense has been pretty reasonable. Obviously, 5 runs in their current game, and they're doing some solid stuff. Using Gurriel to that season-ending ACL tear, that's not great. But despite being huge sellers at the trade deadline, this team continues to be very dangerous at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Rangers are plus 115. The Diamondbacks are minus 140. We've got a total of 9 in this game. The Rangers are 29-40 on the road, 36-32-1 to the over on the road. Arizona's 34-32 at home, 32-30-4 to the over at home. I'm not going to be taking over 9 in this game, but I will take the Rangers at plus 115. I like Zach Leiter on the mound a lot more than I like Zach Gallen, even though he's thrown the ball better here recently. So maybe we're not going to get too involved in this spot, but I do think there's a shot that you might want to be sneaking the Rangers into your ticket as a potential underdog. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StompTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, NFL Week 1, and college football picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport in the last several years in a row and has had a great 2025 season so far. At StompTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which will not always match what you see here in the video, as I'm not the premium MLB handicapper over there at Stomp the Spread. We've got multiple guys with great track records covering MLB, NFL, NCAA football. Like, these guys have been after it for years and years, a decade plus at least. Like, they have been putting in the work. They use some very sophisticated tools and algorithms to make their predictions, taking a crazy amount of data points into consideration. And I'm not just talking about in baseball, where every single stat you can imagine is right at your fingertips. I'm talking NFL. I'm talking doing deep dives, being able to name hundreds and hundreds of college football players. I have no idea how he keeps track of all that, guys. It is just so much anarchy there in the college football streets, with the transfer portal just going nuts. Every player is a free agent every single season. It's crazy. But he's finding a way to keep track of it. The NCAA football picks in the premium section are on a 2-0 run, so that's a positive. Obviously, we've got NFL Week 1, right around the corner. Look, we like one day from when you're probably going to watch this video, we're going to have an NFL game. So very exciting stuff there. Definitely get in on the premium if you're interested by going over to StompTheSpread.com. Yesterday, premium, day 2 of September. Day 1 was very nice, a nice winning day. Day 2 was more break even. 2-2 on the day. The Nationals, that was a win as almost a full unit play. The Cubs, they were a win as a unit and a half play, so that was nice. But the Athletics let him down in a very close one-run game there, and the Astros did not come through, banking on Valdez having a good start, which he has, but just not all the time. So yeah, a 2-2 day, but pretty much break even. You'll have that every once in a while, but yeah, the premium picks still very profitable there in September. Also had a huge July. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about how well the premium picks did there in July. I'm putting the numbers on the screen right now. So a huge July, a little bit of tough sledding there in August, but September is off to a very good start, and we're gonna have tons and tons of sports involved in September. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Also get over there to StompTheSpread.com by clicking that link in the description to get on the free email newsletter. That newsletter is a great resource. You just go over there, set up a free account. They just need your name and your email address. You'll get one email every single day. It'll have at least one free pick, oftentimes two. Big write-ups going in depth on, NFL futures, all kinds of good stuff. Big NFL breakdowns coming in there. Also, college football is going to be involved in there, and information on niche sports, like golf, tennis, NASCAR, you name it. It could definitely be in there. Anywhere our guys see value, they're going to be throwing it in that email. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, you can sign up for a YouTube channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get the name up on screen in every video, but more importantly, guys, they get access to our members only giveaways. We did a giveaway on the 1st, so we'll be doing another giveaway here on September 8th. So if you're interested in getting in on that, sign up for a YouTube channel membership. Your name will go in the wheel with every other YouTube channel member's name, and we will spin that wheel live in the video, and you will see if you are the lucky winner of a Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to your address. Guys, we got to dive back in. We've got a ton more games to cover here on a full Wednesday slate. And next up, we're going to be looking at the Baltimore Orioles. They're headed to San Diego to take on the Padres. The Orioles come into this game, or actually the Orioles and Padres are still playing. They're in the bottom of the 7th. The Orioles are up 5-2, but that bullpen's coming into play. They've got the bases loaded against them. So we'll see how things go in Game 2. In Game 3, they're going to hand the ball to Cade Povich, who's 2-7 on the year, a 5.04 ERA. He is coming off a weirdly competent start there against the Red Sox. 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. They're both solo home runs, though. I mean, over his last 5 starts, he hasn't been awesome, and going up against a team like the Padres could be a little bit tricky for him. He hasn't faced them yet, so we'll see how it goes, but KennyGPoker, not somebody I've been super high on this season. Obviously, the Orioles bullpen's been terrible. A 4.62 bullpen ERA might cost them their current game and is definitely a problem every single time they're on the field. The offense has taken huge steps back after being amazing last season. They've been pretty mediocre this year. 24th in on-base percentage, 22nd in batting average. They have had a little bit of a hot streak here recently, but it hasn't been that hot and it hasn't been going on long. So we'll see what they do here going up against the Padres, a team very much in the mix. They're only 2 games back there in the NL West, and they're trying to make sure, they hold on to that wild card spot there in the National League. They are a game and a half up on the Mets. So we'll see how things go here as they hand the ball to Nestor Cortes. He's 2-3 on the season, a 5.06 ERA. His last start was against the Twins, and it was pretty bad. 3 innings, 5 hits, and 3 earned runs in a 7-4 loss. But he's had some very good outings mixed in as well. So we'll see what he can do against a team like the Orioles. Obviously, this guy has done the bulk of his work this season with the Padres after coming over from Milwaukee, and he's been pretty decent. So got to give him credit where credit is due. Also, it doesn't hurt to have the best bullpen in the majors backing you up. The Padres' pen has been incredibly good this season. The offense, not incredibly good. 21st in runs scored this year, 8th in batting average, 9th in on-base percentage, so plenty of room for improvement. Will that happen in this game? Going up against KennyGPoker, I definitely think it's a possibility, and so did the odds makers. The Orioles are plus 140. The Padres are minus 165. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. Baltimore's 31-39 on the road, 42-26-2 to the under on the road. The Padres are 43-23 at home, 36-28-2 to the under at home. I don't think under 8.5 is crazy at all in this game. I'm not going to get super involved because I don't love either one of these starters, but in terms of a side, I'll definitely take the Padres, especially if they lose here in Game 2. The Padres at minus 165 seems very live to me. Cortes is not my favorite starter, so this isn't going to make the pinned comment, but I do think the Padres are in great shape to find a way to win this game. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Dodgers at 78-60 on the year have a 2-game lead over the San Diego Padres. They did lose Game 1 of this series 9-7, so not a great look there. They'll hand the ball in this one to Ohtani. He comes into this game, looking to just continue to be one of the craziest two-way athletes ever in the history of mankind. Hitting the cover off the ball, obviously, and now he's, back on the mound looking great. His last time out was very, very solid, so I'm expecting pretty good stuff from Ohtani here. We'll see what we actually get, but I would be pretty freaking floored to see him go out there and be terrible in this one. I think he's going to be very good, especially in this matchup. He's going to need to be, though, because that Dodgers bullpen, nothing too special. It's pretty bad. And the offense, well, they did come up with 7 runs in their loss the last time out, but have not been hitting the cover off the ball down the stretch. Ohtani has, but this team is still 3rd in runs scored, 7th in batting average, and 4th in on-base percentage. All numbers that are kind of decreasing here towards the end of the season. So we'll see what they can do to take advantage of the Pirates, who have won 3 out of their last 4, but at 62-77 on the year, this is far too little, far too late. Brandon Ashcraft's going to get the start for them. This young lefty's been pretty good, a 2.58 ERA, coming off another start. He started in his last 4 appearances, and they've all been excellent. Good starts against the Cardinals, Rockies, Cubs, and Reds. So we'll see if we can have a good start against the Dodgers. Obviously, that's a little bit bigger of an ask. He hasn't faced the Dodgers this year, but I do like Braxton Ashcraft. I'm expecting good stuff from him in this game. The Pirates bullpen, it's been decent, not great. A 4.13 bullpen ERA is obviously leaves a lot of room for improvement, and the offense has been bad this season. But over their last few games, it's been better. 9-2-10, 4-1-2 over their last few is not amazing. They're still last in the majors in runs scored and last in slugging percentage, but at least they're hitting the ball a little bit. Looking at the numbers for this one, the Dodgers are minus 180. The Pirates are plus 150. We've got a total of 8 in this game. The Dodgers are 31-33 on the road, 36-27-1 to the under on the road. The Pirates are 39-30 at home, 36-31-2 to the under at home. I don't think under 8 is something I'm super interested in, but you could talk me into no-run first inning in this game. In terms of a side with Ohtani on the mound, it seems crazy to not take the Dodgers here in this bounce-back spot, but Ashcraft's been pretty good, so I will lean towards the Dodgers, but definitely nothing from this is making the pinned comment. Rolling along here, guys, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays heading to Cincinnati to take on the Reds. So far, the series is a 2-2 split. The Blue Jays got the 12-9 win there in Game 2, and they're currently 2.5 games up on the Yankees and Red Sox, so they need every single win they can get. They'll hand the ball in this one to Shane Bieber. He's 1-1 on the season, a 2.38 ERA. This will only be his 3rd start of the season, but the first 2 have been very solid. Good stuff there against the Marlins, good stuff against Milwaukee. I'm expecting him to go out there and be pretty solid once again going up against the Reds team that's not the scariest offensively. Now, the bullpen for Toronto is a problem. A 4.12 bullpen ERA leaves tons of room for improvement, and they haven't really been improving down the stretch. The offense, I mean, they're coming off a 12-run game. That's a great sign, but 12, 4, 8, 1, 2, and 9 over their last few. This team was much more consistent at the plate there for a while. They're still first in batting average and first in on-base percentage, so I'm not complaining too much. This is a dominant team at the plate. We just need to see them do it over a bigger sample size. So we'll see what they can do here against the Reds. Lodolo missing a start there due to an illness. Zach Littell will get that start in this game, and the Reds need every win they can get. They're only one game over 500 now, and they're 5 games back of the Mets in their National League wild card hunt. So we'll see what they do. Handing the ball to my twin brother Zach Littell in this game. He's 9-8 on the season, a 3.63 ERA. Coming off a kind of mediocre start there against the Cardinals. I mean, 7 innings is great, but 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. Walked 0 and struck out 4 while giving up a couple home runs. Not the best look, and we do see the Reds eventually lose that game in extras. The last 3 times he's been on the mound, we've seen the Reds lose those games in extras, despite him being decent to solid. So we'll see what he can do here against the Blue Jays. Obviously a pretty dangerous team to have to face. Has he faced? Yeah, he faced Toronto back in mid-May and was excellent. Well, pretty good over 7 1/3 innings. So we'll see what he looks like in this one. The Reds bullpen, not amazing, not terrible. A 3.99 bullpen ERA. The offense, 9.57, 2.5, and 1 over their last few games. Just not that great at the plate. They're 16th in batting average. They're 22nd in slugging percentage. Elly De La Cruz has done some cool stuff this year, but they didn't really want him to be the one leading this team in home runs with 19. Like, this offense has been kind of mediocre. So looking at the numbers here, the Blue Jays are minus 155. The Reds are plus 130. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. Toronto's 34 and 35 on the road. 36, 29, and 4 to the over on the road. The Reds are 38 and 30 at home, 40, 23, and 5 to the under at home, which is actually an MLB best to the under. I'm probably not going to be hopping on under 8.5 in this game. In terms of a side, I will take the Blue Jays. I like what Shane Bieber's been doing here recently in Toronto. Obviously, still has plenty to play for, but how much conviction do I have in this one? I would say some, but maybe not a ton. Rapid fire through these games. We're looking at the Cleveland Guardians heading to Boston to take on the Red Sox. The Red Sox got the win for us there yesterday, so slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing Boston as our lock of the day. The Guardians have lost 3 in a row and now 1 game below 500. They are all the way back to 4 games back in the American League wildcard chase. They'll hand the ball in this one to Logan Allen. He's 7 and 10 on the year, a 4.42 ERA coming off a middling start against the Mariners. He was fine, and we did see the Guardians eventually get the win in that game, but start for that, he got shelled by the Rangers. Start for that, very mediocre stuff against Atlanta. We'll see what he can do here against the Red Sox, but this team is no pushover, and they are in desperation win-now mode, and when he faced the Red Sox back in late April, he got destroyed. So it's a long time ago, but I'm not loving Logan Allen in this spot. The Guardians' bullpen, on the other hand, has been solid. A 3.66 bullpen ERA is not something to complain about in today's MLB. The offense has actually been okay as well. 7, 4, 2, 4, 5, and 4 over their last few is not terrible for a team that's 28th in the majors over the course of the season in runs scored and last in batting average and last in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they can do here at Fenway. The Red Sox, winners of 3 in a row. They're 2.5 games back in the AL East, making tons of noise out there. They'll hand the ball in this one to Brennan Bernardino. He comes into this game a 3.08 ERA. He's only made 2 outings this year. They were both bullpen appearances. One of them went really well. One of them went pretty poorly there against the Pirates. We'll see what he can do. Looks like this is going to be basically a bullpen start situation from Boston, which is not the end of the world for this team. They've been very good coming out of the pen all year long. A 3.38 bullpen ERA is 3rd best in all the major leagues. So I actually don't hate the bullpen situation for the Red Sox. And part of the reason I don't hate that is their offense is red hot. 11, 6, 5, 3, 2, 3, 3, and 5 over their last few. It's very clear to me over their last 2 or 3 games at least that the offense is gearing back up. They're still 5th in runs scored, 5th in batting average. Like, this is a very dangerous team at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Guardians are plus 120. The Red Sox are minus 145. We get a total of 8.5. Cleveland's 33 and 35 on the road, 35, 28, and 5 to the under on the road. Boston's 43 and 27 at home, 37, 31, and 2 to the under at home. Despite these trends, I definitely like over 8.5 in this game. I think we'll see plenty of offense out there, but better than that, I'll just run it back with the Red Sox. While I don't love Bernardino out there that much, I do love the Boston bullpen in general, and even if he gets in a little bit of trouble, I think they're going to put up plenty of runs there against Logan Allen. Maybe not that Cleveland bullpen, but regardless, I think this is a pretty good spot for the Red Sox, and minus 145 is not the worst price. Cruising through these games, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners headed to Tampa Bay to take on the Rays. The Mariners have lost the first 2 games of the series and 4 out of their last 5. They're now 3 full games back of the Astros there in the AL West. They're going to hand the ball in this one to George Kirby. He's 8-6 on the season, a 3.94 ERA, coming off a decent start against the Guardians. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, albeit in a 5-4 loss. Start for that, he was very good against the Athletics in a 2-1 loss. So we'll see what he can do here. Start for that, he did get shelled by the Mets. He has definitely had his ups and downs this year. We'll see what he does against Tampa Bay, a team he hasn't faced, but I am definitely a little bit worried here about George Kirby. The Mariners' bullpen hasn't been as good down the stretch either. A 3.90 bullpen ERA, kind of a far cry from what we were seeing from this team earlier in the year coming out of the pen. And the offense, while it also was looking amazing. I mean, Cal rallies up to 51 home runs, but they scored 5-2-4, 3-4-4 over their last few games. That's not good enough to catch up to the Astros. They're currently 12th in runs scored, but 21st in batting average and 15th in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road against the Tampa Bay Rays, who've won 5 in a row now at 69-69 on the year. They are not completely out of the mix there in the American League wildcard hunt. They're only 3.5 games back. They'll hand the ball in this one to Adrian Hauser, who's 7-4 this season, a 2.85 ERA, and he finally came up with a decent start here for his new team. Obviously, coming over from the White Sox, it was a bit tough. He's had some good outings, but more bad than good. His last time on the mound, 4 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run layer allowed at the Washington Nationals. You got to be better than that, man. The last time he faced the Mariners was back on the 10th of August, and he kind of got shelled in what was eventually a 6-3 loss. He opened his season back in late May against the Mariners and was dominant in that one. So we'll see what Hauser looks like in this game. I'm expecting him to be a little bit better. I'm definitely expecting good stuff from the Rays bullpen. They've been solid this year, a 3.68 bullpen ERA. The offense has been cruising as well, 6-10-7, 4-4, and 3 over their last few. The last 3 games, we've really seen this offense start to come into its own again. They're back up to 9th in batting average. They're 13th in runs scored. This is a team that, was looking like one of the best offenses in the majors for quite a bit. So maybe they're rounding back into form here. And looking at the numbers for this game, the Mariners are minus 140. The Rays are plus 120 here at home. A total of 8.5 in this game. Seattle's 32-37 on the road, 38-30-1 to the over on the road. Tampa Bay is 35-33 at home, 35-29-4 to the under at home. I am not too interested in the total in this game, but I am very interested in the Tampa Bay Rays here at home at plus 120. I know Hauser hasn't been amazing, but neither is George Kirby. I think this is a good spot to catch him having a good outing, especially against a team he's got one very good start against already this year and one not so good. I think we see the Rays bats continue to stay hot, and the Tampa Bay at plus 120 has a great chance of being our dog of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Angels at 65-73 on the year. Once again, not going to see Mike Trout playing postseason baseball. They have won 3 out of their last 4. Trout was a late scratch due to a skin infection in their last game. Unfortunately, we don't have a confirmed starter here for the Angels. Obviously, their rotation has not been amazing this year. And, as a team, a 4.75 bullpen ERA. That's 27th in the majors. They're also 27th in batting average against and 29th in whip. So I don't have a ton of great things to say about the Angels pitching staff. Obviously, that bullpen's been atrocious as well. One of the worst 2 or 3 bullpens in all the major leagues. That leaves a lot of pressure on this offense. And at times, they've been up to the task. But recently, 5-3-3, 4-0, and 3 over their last few. They're down to 22nd in the majors in runs scored, 29th in batting average. They're 15th in slugging percentage. But this team, not doing a lot of great stuff at the plate. So we'll see what they do against the Royals, who at 70-68 on the year have themselves in wildcard contention as well. They're 2.5 games back there in the American League. They'll hand the ball in this one to Ryan Bergert. This 25-year-old righty is 2-1 on the year, a 2.67 ERA, coming off an excellent outing there against the White Sox, and he's been great recently, honestly. Hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of his last 5 starts. He's going to be taking on an Angels team here, and we'll see what he can do against them. He hasn't faced Los Angeles this season, but we'll see. I'm expecting very good stuff from Bergert here. I'm also expecting good stuff from the Royals bullpen. They've been excellent this year, a 3.61 bullpen ERA. Nothing wrong with that. Offensively, swinging some pretty cold bats, guys. 1-0-3, 3-12, and 5 over their last few games. They're 27th in the majors in runs scored, 18th in batting average, 23rd in on-base percentage, but just not swinging very hot bats at the moment. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Angels are plus 130, the Royals are minus 155, a total of 9 in this game. The Angels are 30-38 on the road, 36-30-2 to the over on the road. The Royals are 37-32 at home, 42-26-1 to the under at home. If we knew who was starting for the Angels, there's a possibility I could be interested in the under. I'm also definitely interested in the Royals here at minus 155, even potentially without a starter being confirmed there for the Angels. So This might end up being a little bit of a wait-and-see spot, but I'm definitely leaning towards the Royals and that under. Next on the docket, we've got the Atlanta Braves heading to Wrigley to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Braves have lost 5 out of their last 6 games. They've lost each of the first 2 games of the series, albeit each by a single run. They'll hand the ball in game 3 to Bryce Elder, who's 5-9 this season, a 5.85 ERA. He's coming off a couple of his best starts of the year, though. Dominant stuff there against both the Mets and the Phillies. We'll see if he can keep that up. Obviously, taking on the Cubs, a decent challenge, but maybe not that much better than the last 2 teams he has faced. He hasn't faced the Cubs this year, so we'll see how it goes. I haven't been super high on Bryce Elder this season, but the kid's got some decent stuff. We'll see if he can have another good start. Even if he does, though, that Atlanta bullpen's been pretty bad. A 4.14 bullpen ERA does not fill me with optimism, and the offense, 3-6-3, 2-1, and 4 over their last few games. They're 15th in runs scored, but they're all the way down to 21st in slugging percentage and 19th in batting average. This is not necessarily a super potent offense. So we'll see what they do on the road against these Cubs, who have won 4 out of their last 5. Obviously, Tucker going out there with a tight calf after that home run. That's not a great look. They're only 5 games back from the NL Central and obviously holding things down in the wild card department, so they're probably not feeling too bad about their situation. They're obviously not going to feel bad about handing the ball in this one to Cade Horton, who's 9-4 on the year, a 2.92 ERA. Another very solid outing his last time on the mound. 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs allowed there in Colorado, but over his last 5 starts, guys, he's allowed a total of 4 earned runs. So we'll see what he can do against a team like Atlanta. Certainly not the scariest opponent you could face as a starting pitcher. The Cubs bullpen, there have been some hiccups down the stretch, but a 3.87 bullpen ERA. I think it's a competent unit out there. The offense has not been wowing me. 4-7-5, 4-11, and 3 over their last few games. They're still 6th in runs scored, though. They're 14th in batting average, 5th in slugging percentage, so I'm not too low on this offense, and I'm very high on Cade Horton. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Braves are plus 130. The Cubs are minus 155. We've got a total of 8.5. Atlanta's a pretty atrocious 28-43 on the road, 35-31 and 5 to the over on the road. The Cubs are 43-23 at home, 31-28 and 6 to the under at home. Guys, I like the Cubs with Cade Horton on the mound in this spot an awful lot. They could be potentially our lock of the day. I do wish they were hitting the ball a little bit better, and obviously, back-to-back one-run games doesn't fill me with, all the happiness in the world, but I think with Cade Horton on the mound, the Cubs are a very solid play. Next up, guys, we got the Chicago White Sox. They're heading to Minnesota to take on the Twins. Slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the White Sox with us yesterday as our dog of the day. They've now won 3 in a row, but obviously, a pretty bad team over the course of the year. They'll hand the ball in this one to Yoendrys Gomez. He's 3-2 this season, a 5.20 ERA. His last 4 outings have been starts, and he's had some decent ones mixed in there for sure, but also kind of a stinker there against the Atlanta Braves. His last time out, 4 innings, 2 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned, and walked 6 and struck out 6 against the Yankees. Clearly, he was all over the place. The last time he faced the Twins, he was very good in an 8-0 win. So maybe Gomez is going to be good in this one. Once again, we'll see what happens. The White Sox bullpen, not a complete disaster. A 4.13 bullpen ERA is not necessarily amazing, though. Offensively, 12, 6, and 3 over their last 3 games. Very nice stuff for a team that over the course of the year has been bad at the plate, but right now is looking quite a bit better, despite being 28th in slugging percentage and 28th in batting average. So we'll see what they do on the road here against the Twins, who've now lost 3 out of 4 at 62-76. Their season is basically over. They'll hand the ball in this one to Zebby Matthews, who's 4-4 this season, a 5.06 ERA. Coming off a mediocre start there against the Padres, 6 innings, 7 hits, but only 3 runs allowed, so I guess not terrible. The last time he faced the White Sox, he got shelled. 4 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs allowed is not a great look. We'll see if he's got a little bit of a bounce back in him in this one, but Zebby Matthews, not somebody I've been super high on this season. The Twins bullpen is a disaster, clearly worse than the White Sox bullpen, a 4.53 bullpen ERA. The offense has not been great either. 3-5-7, 3-7, and 8 over their last few is very hot hitting for a team that's 24th in the majors in runs scored and 25th in batting average. So looking at the numbers for this game, we're about to be tempted. The White Sox are plus 145. The Twins are minus 170. We've got a total of 8.5 in this one. The White Sox are only 20-46 on the road, 38-25 and 3 to the under on the road. The Twins are 35-33 at home, 33-32 and 3 to the over at home. I'm not interested in the total, but we really have to consider running it back on the White Sox here. It does not feel great, but Zebby Matthews has some bad history against the White Sox. Getting almost 1.5 to 1 is very, very tempting. So look out, guys. The White Sox could be in the pinned comment as our dog of the day in back-to-back videos. Next up, guys, we've got the Philadelphia Phillies heading to Milwaukee to take on the Brewers. The Phillies have a 5.5 game lead there in the NL East. They won game 1 of this series 10-8. They're handing the ball in game 2 to Aaron Nola. He's 3-7 this season, a 6.47 ERA. Got knocked around aggressively by Atlanta and the Nationals over his last, 3 starts, got destroyed by the Cardinals back in May. So, yeah, after coming off the IL, things have not looked great for Nola. We'll see if he can bounce back here going up against the Brewers, but that is a pretty tall order. Obviously, the Phillies' bullpen's been terrible. A 4.36 bullpen ERA is a huge reason I can't take this team very seriously in the playoffs. The offense, putting up a 10 spot in Game 1, has to feel amazing. They're 9th in the majors in runs scored, 3rd in batting average, 6th in on-base percentage. So over the course of the year, they've been excellent. We'll see if they can be excellent here against these Brewers. Milwaukee, they've got a 5-game cushion there in the NL Central. They have lost their last 2 games. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jose Quintana, who's 10-5 on the year, a 3.69 ERA. His last start, though, was terrible against the Diamondbacks. 3 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs allowed. That was in a 6-4 loss. So definitely a bounce back spot for him. We'll see what he can do against a team like the Phillies. He did face them back in early June. It was pretty good over 5 innings and a 5-2 win, but maybe not dominant. And this is definitely a bounce back spot for Quintana, though. So I'm expecting him to pitch a little bit better this time for sure. The bullpen for the Brewers has been way better than the bullpen for the Phillies, no doubt about that. And the offensive numbers have been excellent as well. They're 2nd in runs scored, 2nd in batting average, and 2nd in on-base percentage. So we'll see what happens, but I think the Brewers are in for a pretty good offensive day. And looking at the numbers, the Phillies are plus 105, the Brewers are minus 120, a total of 9 in this one. The Phillies are a 500 team on the road, 41-25 and 4 to the under on the road. That's actually an MLB best to the under. The Brewers are 45-25 at home, 35-33 and 2 to the under at home. I love the Brewers at home in this spot. Milwaukee at minus 120 has a great chance of making the pin comment. I don't think there's anything wrong with Quintana. I think this is a great bounce back spot for him, and I think it's a letdown spot for the Phillies bats coming off a big day yesterday. Next up, guys, we've got the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. The Athletics took the 2-1 loss there in Game 2 of this series, and at 64-76 on the year, they don't have a ton left to play for. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jeffrey Springs, who's 10-9 on the year, a 4.17 ERA. Coming off a middle-of-the-road start there against the Rangers in a 5-2 loss, he was fine, but not great. Start for that, he was dominant against the Mariners. We'll see what he can do against the St. Louis Cardinals, a team that I don't believe he's faced this season. No, he has not faced them this year, but I think Springs can go out there and be pretty good in this matchup. I think the Athletics bullpen, though, is a big question mark. A 4.80 bullpen ERA fills me with maybe dread is too extreme of a word, but they're not very good. The offense is actually good, despite getting held to 1 run there yesterday. Over the course of the year, they're 4th in batting average, 4th in slugging percentage, and 11th in runs scored. They've got some very, very solid bats out there. So we'll see what they do against the Cardinals. They come into this game fresh off that win, but at 2 games below 500, have an awful lot of climbing to do if they're going to make the National League wildcard race interesting. They're going to hand the ball to Matthew Liberatore, who at 6-11 on the year has not been great. His last start was okay against the Reds, 5 innings, 8 hits, and 3 earned runs allowed, but the kid has not been amazing. We'll see what he can do here against the Athletics, but I'm not necessarily expecting miracles from him. He's been weakening down the stretch, which for a 25-year-old lefty, that's not too shocking. The bullpen for the Cardinals continues to be excellent, so that's a nice check mark for them. But the offense, 2-3-4, 4-7, and 4 over their last few is not amazing for a team that had aspirations to be a top 10 offense. Now it's looking like they're much, much closer to MLB average. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Athletics are minus 110, the Cardinals are minus 110. A total of 8.5. The Athletics are a 500 road team. They're 34, 30, and 6 to the over on the road. The Cardinals are 37 and 33 at home, 36, 30, and 4 to the over at home. In this one, I'm not too interested in the total, but I'll definitely take the Athletics here at minus 110. I'm more than happy to fade Liberatore. I think he is really, really floundering here at the end of the season, and I think the Athletics on the road could just slug out another win. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. Slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Yankees with us there yesterday. A nice 7-1 win. They are only 2.5 games back there in the AL East, and they'll hand the ball in this one to Will Warren, who's 8-6 this season, a 4.30 ERA. His last couple of outings, his last start, those 4 runs were unearned, but still, he wasn't amazing. Start for that, he got shelled by the Red Sox. He's had very good, stretches this year. Just recently, it hasn't looked quite as sharp. He hasn't faced the Astros, but I don't feel like they're going to be too much of a challenge for him, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the Yankees' bullpen has been a big problem this year. A 4.23 bullpen ERA is not what they had in mind. Offensively, 7, 2, 5, 10, 10, and 11 over their last few games. They are rounding back into form. They're 1st in runs scored, they're 1st in slugging percentage, and 3rd in on-base percentage. the Yankees' powerhouse offense is back. So we'll see what they can do in Houston, taking on the Astros, who at 76 and 63 on the year have a 3-game lead in the AL West. They're going to give the ball in this game to Jason Alexander, who's 4-1 on the year, a 4.61 ERA. His last start was against the Rockies, 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, and 2 home runs allowed against the Rockies. Is not exactly amazing, but the last time he faced the Yankees was back on August 10th, and he was lights out over 6 innings, giving up only a single hit, walking 3, and giving up no runs, and a 7-1 win. The Astros are also 5-0 over his last 5 starts, for whatever that's worth. The Houston bullpen's definitely been better than the Yankees bullpen. A 3.71 bullpen ERA is excellent. The offense, 1-8-0-1. 2-4-4 over their last few games is not acceptable. They're 23rd in the majors in runs scored. They're 16th in batting average, all despite being 6th in batting average. So we'll see what they can do here, but I'm not super high on the Astros offense. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Yankees are minus 130. The Astros are plus 110. We've had a total of 9. The Yankees are 35 and 33 on the road, 35, 30, and 3 to the over on the road. The Astros are 42 and 30 at home, 40, 30, and 2 to the under at home. I think the best play on this game is actually under 9. I don't think we're going to see a ton of offense with these two starters on the mound. That being said, I will also side with the Yankees at minus 130, but I do think the under is probably the better play in this game. Last but not least, guys, we're looking at the San Francisco Giants heading to Colorado to take on the Rockies. The Giants have now won 3 in a row, and what is it up to now? Is that 9 out of their last 10? Something like that. They're still, trying to stay alive in that wild card hunt. 5 games back in the National League. They'll hand the ball in this one to Robbie Ray, who's 10-6 this year, a 3.18 ERA. Unfortunately for the Giants and for Robbie Ray, his last couple of starts have not been nearly as good. He got knocked around aggressively by the Orioles his last time out, but that was a 15-8 win there for the Giants. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back in him here. About to go up against the Colorado Rockies, one of the worst teams you can possibly face, although he did struggle against them back in early June. So we'll see what it looks like this time. We'll also see what that Giants bullpen can do. They've been great, one of the best 2 bullpens in the majors this year. The offense has come alive as well. 7, 8, 13, 1, 15, 4, and 12. That's not too bad, guys. That's some pretty solid production. They're still 20th in runs scored and 26th in batting average, but they're hitting the ball a lot more like they did in those first 3 or 4 weeks of the season here recently. So we'll see what they do against the Rockies. They're obviously, 39 and 100 on the year. Another season losing 100 games. They'll hand the ball in this one to German Marquez. He's 3-12 this year, a 6.14 ERA. He got shelled by the Cubs last time out. Pretty bad stuff against the Twins before that. You kind of get the picture. This dude, not a real big league caliber pitcher. The last time he faced the Giants, he got shelled as well. So nothing positive to say about him. Nothing positive to say about that Rockies bullpen. It's terrible. The offense, 4-2-6, 3-7, and 3 over their last few is not the end of the world. Obviously, a big fight there yesterday in that game, so we'll see, with 3 guys getting tossed, we'll see who, if anybody gets suspended, if everybody ends up playing here today. So definitely still some unknowns for this one. Obviously, the Rockies offense has been one of the worst in the majors this year, so that doesn't help. Looking at the numbers, the Giants are big favorites. They're minus 225. The Rockies are plus 190. We've got a total of 11. The Giants are 34 and 35 on the road, 35, 29, and 5 to the over on the road. The Rockies are 22 and 48 at home, 35, 33, and 2 to the under at home. No massive lean on this game, guys, especially with the way Robbie Ray's been throwing the ball, but I will take the Giants at minus 225 or minus 1.5. Either one of those is fine with me, but neither one of those is going to make the pinned comment. And guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everyone watching. Make sure you click the link down in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com. Check out all of the red hot premium action over there. Also, you got to get over there to get on that email newsletter, guys. It's a great value, straight to your inbox every single day. Tons of very good information. Guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.